I'm Jessica Rhymes. This is Rhymes Reimagined, where I will teach you all the possibilities of thrifting and DIYing. If that sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing to my channel for all types of DIY and thrifting content. Subscribing costs you nothing but means the world to me, so please hit that subscribe button below. In today's video, we are going to be continuing with my sustainable box of fun from the WasteShed, my mystery box. If you did not see last week's video, I'm actually going to link it above so you can see what's all in this wonderful box, and you can see what else I made with some of the materials that were included in the box. For this week's episode in my WasteShed in a Box Sustainable Box of Fun series, I'm actually going to use one of the yarns that was included in the box, and I made a beautiful wall hanging as a baby shower gift, which has already been gifted and just in time because baby girl arrived the same week I gifted it to my boss, and it's already hanging up in baby girl's room, so that's really exciting for me. She's gonna come home to the wall hanging that I made for her. So if you want to see how I made this wonderful rainbow wall hanging, stay tuned. For this project, I am using some 6mm macrame cord. It's just cotton cord from Joann's, I believe. Floral wire to stabilize each piece of cord. This is from the Dollar Tree. And then to keep the floral wire intact, I'm going to use masking tape. I have a wide variety of yarn here. This is the WasteShed yarn that I got in my mystery box. I'm going to be using some of that. And then the rest of this yarn, I believe, is from either my grandma or thrifted, these 4 right here. And then this one back here, I think, came from my favorite like discount outlet type store, Continental Sales. And then the optional embellishments, you can use buttons or beads. I'm gonna use some buttons. These are actually from the mystery box from the WasteShed as well. And then to attach the buttons, and then to attach every strand to each other, I'm actually just gonna use some needle and thread. And then hot glue gun is optional if you wanna make sure that the yarn is really secure when you've tied it off at the end of each cord. You can just use a little dab of hot glue to do that if you don't wanna just tie it on. I started this project by laying out the foundation of the rainbow, so lining up the macrame cords for each stripe of the rainbow. I have a total of 7 stripes. Now I'm going to go in and cut the ends of each piece. I made sure each piece was even, and then I'm going to cut a few inches of the floral wire and form it to one of the stripes of the rainbow. And then I'm just going to take some of the masking tape and tape 3 times, one on the end, one in the middle, and then one on the other end. This step is completely optional. I find that it just really helps to stabilize each piece of the macrame cord to make sure the project stays completely intact. Now that all the wire has been secured, I am going to just take a marker and just kind of mark off the ends where I want to start wrapping the yarn around the cord. This is just a guide. When I go further into the video, you'll see kind of how I make sure that the ends are lining up correctly as I wrap each strand. Now I'm going to begin wrapping. I take about an inch of the end of the yarn and I put that inside and wrap over the end of the yarn instead of tying a knot. This is the tedious of tedious tasks, so I recommend using thicker yarn to make the process go a lot faster. The thicker the yarn, the easier it is to wrap and cover everything, and the faster this will go. I actually removed the tape from the center because it's not really necessary anymore. It's just to help hold the wire in place while you tape the ends. It just adds bulk that you don't want, so I just went ahead and removed it. To prevent the pieces of tape on the ends from looking bulky, I pull the yarn really tight over those sections. So this is just me finishing wrapping it off, and then I'm just going to cut it and tie a little knot at the end. One down, 6 more to go. So I'm just going to continue wrapping each stripe of the rainbow in the same way that I did the first piece. I did do kind of a rotating pattern, not really a pattern, but you'll see kind of how I put the colors in at the end. Now before I tie off the end of this stripe, I'm actually going to lay it back down in the piece and make sure that the ends match up. And voila! After watching almost all of Mamma Mia, I have successfully wrapped all 7 pieces. Now I'm just going to glue the knot and snip the remaining ends of the yarn. Now I made sure that all the glue parts were in the back and I flipped the piece over. And now I'm just going to take regular old needle and thread and stitch all 7 pieces together. I just want to make sure that everything is lined up before I start stitching anything together, and then I can kind of mold it with the wire to make sure that everything is where I want it. And then I'm just going to go in with the needle and stitch it all together. I do use the scissors to kind of pull it through because it is kind of hard to get the needle through the really thick macrame cord. So I just use the scissors. If you do this, make sure you're very careful with the hot glue and very careful with the needle and the scissors. Now that it's all stitched together, I am going to use the remaining needle and thread to actually make a little hanger for the back of the piece, since this is a wall hanging. In the final steps of this project, I am putting my beauty skills to the test. I'm giving the ends of the macrame cord a good combing with a fine tooth comb, and I'm working from the very bottom up so that I don't snag or tangle it. And then in some places I may need to unravel it by hand and then continue combing. After it is all combed out, I'm just going to go ahead and give it a nice little haircut, making sure both sides of the rainbow are even. Here's the finished product. As you can see, I opted not to include the buttons. I think once I saw the finished product, I liked the neat and cleanness of it without the embellishment. Let me know in the comments what you would do. Would you add an embellishment to this piece or leave it as is? And I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you can be informed each time I post a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.